How's it going, everybody? On the best is, the best it was, the best ever will be. There have been none before me, and there'll be none after me. Therefore, I am the one and only Jake Covey, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got an action-packed week this week with your SmackDown and Raw reviews, and then we go into my predictions for Money in the Bank. We then have a review of Money in the Bank 2011, followed by your drink of the week, and then a reading from the Book of Rules. And then we have your Battle Droid of the week. But let's get into news. Let's get into SmackDown this week, as SmackDown kicked off with the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa arriving in the car with Paul Heyman waiting for him. Heyman said he knows Solo doesn't answer to him, but he asked where Jacob Fatu is. Solo just patted him on the shoulder before heading to the ring. The Bloodline was making their entrances when Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens showed up. Rang out of the car and the brawl broke down. The babyfaces stood tall before security came out with Nick Aldis. Orton RKO'd one of the security members, which led the other security members to attacking them, but the babyfaces laid them all out. Owens says the Bloodline thought that they were going to wait until Money in the Bank. They're dumber than they look. Orton said that he missed 18 months because of the Bloodline, and he will finish them off at Money in the Bank. Cody Rhodes said Solo Sikoa isn't the tribal chief or the head of the table. He's just a seat filler. We then get a triple threat match for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. A qualifier match. We have Tiffany Stratton versus Candice LeRae versus Jade Cargill. This would end with a lot of interferences. Nia Jax was looking to interfere, but Bianca Belair tried to stop it. You would then have Indy Hartwell attack Jade Cargill, which led to Tiffany Stratton picking up the win since no one was distracting her. We then get L.A. Knight, qualifying for Money in the Bank by pinning Logan Paul in a triple threat match that also includes Santos Escobar. Nice little job here by L.A. Knight picking up the win, and he is going to qualify for Money in the Bank, which he'll probably get costed by Logan Paul. We then get Naomi qualifying after pinning Indy Hartwell in a nice little match. Jade Cargill would attack Indy during the match because she screwed her earlier, so eye for an eye. Naomi picks up the win and is going on to Money in the Bank. We then get a tag team match announced, tag team championship match for next week's SmackDown, as it will be Ciampa and Gargano, DIY, versus A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. We then get your main event as Solo Sikoa would come and tell everyone to acknowledge him. Tama Tonga and Jacob came forward one by one and told them they acknowledge him as their tribal chief. You would have Paul Heyman say that he loves Solo Sikoa, but he does not acknowledge him as his tribal chief. This led to him being put through the announce table with a shield bomb. Amazing to see an almost 60-year-old man take a shield bomb through a table. That man gives everything to this business. I love it. Very fun SmackDown. It was actually a really enjoyable one, so if you're looking for a fun SmackDown to go back and watch, definitely watch the ending. Paul Heyman taking that shield bomb is hilarious. Let's move on to Raw, though, as Raw kicked off with Jey Uso coming out to cut a promo about Chad Gable and everything. Chad Gable would interrupt and say if you look up Miracle in the dictionary, there would be his picture. And then the lights went out, and the Wyatt Six would come out. You would have them kind of scare Gable back out of the arena. And Nikki Cross would hand Michael Cole another box with another VHS tape in it. We would then get Xavier Woods pinning Karrion Kross. After the match, though, it was a quick match. Xavier Woods would pick up the win by roll-up. But after the match, they would assault Kofi Kingston and basically snap his arm. Oof. We then get Liv Morgan retaining her title over Zelina Vega. Dominic Mysterio said he came out to make sure Liv loses the title. However, Rey Mysterio took out Dominic, which caused Selena to get hit in the face with a steel chair, and Liv to pick up the win. This led to another crazy segment where Dom landed on top of Liv. Yeah, not a good one. We then get Zoe Starks and Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile in a triple threat match. This was actually a very underrated match in my opinion. I thought it was fun. Zoe Starks would pick up the win. I've been waiting for them to give her a good push, so this is exactly what I wanted to see. Zoe Starks picking up the win and moving on to Money in the Bank. We then get the Michael Cole playing the VHS tape, and it's Bo Dallas once again talking to Uncle Howdy. They talked about how they are the voices of reckoning, and Bo Dallas is the voice, and Uncle Howdy is the reckoning. And the camera revealed Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy are now one. Very cool, man. I love these promos. I love these vignettes. I can't wait to see these guys actually in the ring. And then we get a WrestleMania rematch. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. You would have Rey Mysterio pick up the win after Liv Morgan got involved, knocking Dominic off the top rope, allowing Rey Mysterio to actually hit a top rope 619 before hitting a frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Rey Mysterio picks up the win. You then get a very good promo by Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. I'm not even going to spoil it. Go watch it. I actually thought this was a fun promo. We then have Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus and Isla Dragunov in a triple threat Money in the Bank qualifying match to get the last spot in the match. Drew McIntyre would pick up the win, would vow to leave Money in the Bank, cash in on the same night, walk out Toronto as the new World Heavyweight Champion. I don't know how to think about this. I love the idea, but you know CM Punk's going to screw him. So Drew's out. I can easily see Jey Uso winning Money in the Bank. With that being said, let's get to our Money in the Bank predictions coming from the Skybank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The matches that have been announced, I believe this will be all the matches. Maybe we'll get a tag team match added to it, but probably not. Let's talk about them. You have Seth freaking Rollins versus Damian Priest. If Seth wins, Damian must leave the Judgment Day. If Seth loses, he will not be able to challenge for the title as long as Priest is champion. I see the Judgment Day actually screwing Damian here, and Damian Priest losing the title. I see Seth Rollins walking out of Money in the Bank World Heavyweight Champion again. Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for Intercontinental Champion. The Intercontinental Championship. I see Braun Breaker as your new Intercontinental Champion. I think they want to push him. And this would be the only scenario where I could see Damian Priest retaining the title is maybe have Sami Zayn go after him after he has his match with Gunther. Your 6-man tag team match. Look for the Bloodline to pick up the win and Randy Orton to turn on Cody Rhodes, costing him the match. Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes have their match, leading to Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes at Survivor Series. And as I said with my Money in the Bank men's prediction, you have Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre. So you have 4 people who are currently locked in a feud with, or 3 people at least, currently locked in a feud with others. Maybe you could make an argument for Andrade against the Legado de Fantasma. So it'll really come down to me, Carmelo Hayes versus Jey Uso. And I don't know if they're ready to put the Money in the Bank briefcase on Carmelo Hayes yet. I think they want to wait another year and see how he does on the main roster. So I'm saying Jey Uso, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's Carmelo Hayes. You then have your women's Money in the Bank ladder match, Io Sky versus Chelsea Green. Lyra Valkyria Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Stark. I would love to say Zoe Stark. I can easily see also Tiffany Stratton and Lyra Valkyria, but since she's been on the main roster, they have strapped a rocket to Tiffany Stratton. So I will have to say Tiffany Stratton will pick up the win and will become Miss Money in the Bank. But those are my predictions. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and let me know what you think is going to happen at Money in the Bank. Will there be any crazy title changes? Will there be any returns? Or will there be any heel or face turns? Now, let's move on to Money in the Bank 2011. This is a hell of a pay-per-view. It's considered in one of the greatest main events in wrestling history because of what happened in the main event, but not many people realize the ramifications that came from this show. I'll talk about it all during the first match. After a dark match, Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov would defeat the new Nexus, David Otunga and Michael McGillicuddy. Michael McGillicuddy, I think he is. Yep, Curtis Axel and David Otunga. You remember when they were a tag team? Now, I want to point out the importance of this show coming from Chicago, the Rosemont, Illinois All-State Arena. 14,000 hardcore Chicago fans in attendance. You would have the first match be the Money in the Bank ladder match for the World Heavyweight Championship, which would be Wade Barrett, Cody Rhodes, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, Kane, Sakara, and Sheamus. Kane had won it last year. Cody Rhodes had competed in it last year. But this year, Daniel Bryan would pick up the win and win the blue briefcase. Now, you then have a WWE Divas Championship match. Divas Championship, Kelly Kelly defending her title against Brie Bella. With Nikki Bella at ringside, Kelly Kelly would pick up the win and retain her title. You then get to the next match. Mark Henry versus The Big Show. This is where it all starts. Technically, it all started in a Money in the Bank ladder match that happened before that. By the way, I want to point out this night also Christian would defeat Randy Orton by disqualification. And since Orton was disqualified, he'd lost the title to Christian. He would win it back and would become World Heavyweight Champion again. Mark Henry would defeat The Big Show here and would crush The Big Show's leg, allowing The Big Show to take time off to rehabilitate an injury. This would lead to Mark Henry being pushed into the main event scene and fighting for the World Heavyweight title, which he would eventually take off of Randy Orton. After that, The Big Show would return and he would feud with Mark Henry for the title. He would become friends with Daniel Bryan, leading to Daniel Bryan cashing in on him and defending his title until WrestleMania 28, where he would lose it to Sheamus. He would then be propelled into the main event scene of everyone cheering for Daniel Bryan, the Yes movement starting, as Daniel Bryan would chant no, and suddenly Yes would start taking over. And then you get to WrestleMania 30, Yeselmania, Daniel Bryan wins the title in the main event of WrestleMania 30. It all started from Money in the Bank 2011. 3 matches that no one paid attention to, all because of this. All led to a main event that everyone loved. That's a really cool connection. We then get your Raw Money in the Bank ladder match of Alberto Del Rio versus Rey Mysterio, Alex Riley, A-Rai, Evan Bourne, the later PJ Black, I won't say late because he is still alive, Jack Swagger, aka now Jake Hagar, Kofi Kingston, The Miz, and R-Truth. You would have Alberto Del Rio pick up the win and get the Raw Money in the Bank ladder Money in the Bank briefcase. I love that red briefcase, man. The red and the blue briefcases to me are so cool. We then get your match for a WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I talked about that earlier. Christian would defeat Randy Orton by disqualification. And he would then win the title and would then lose to Randy Orton. Oh. We then have your main event. Now, the story behind this match. CM Punk had really signed an extension, but according to WWE storyline, he had not, and he was about to leave WWE. So, he is the number one contender for a WWE Championship. Well, what the hell happens if he leaves and wins the title? What the fuck are we gonna do? Well, we gotta make sure that doesn't happen. So, in enters John Cena. John Cena, your current WWE champion. Mr. McMahon saying John Cena better win or there will be ramifications for John. Alrighty. John puts up a fight. And then you get to Money in the Bank. Happening in front of a rabid Chicago crowd where Chicago's own CM Punk, the Second City Saint, the voice of the voiceless, competes against John Cena. Well, who the hell is the crowd going to cheer for now? Well, none other than CM Punk. And they have a match to end all matches. Anything that could go right in this match did. The chemistry between Punk and Cena. And even though he didn't say on the mic, apparently backstage, CM Punk and John Cena were always good friends. So, the chemistry they were allowed to have, the work they did together, really was great. And because of that, you get this great match. It's CM Punk hits to go to sleep. 1, 2, 3. CM Punk's WWE champion. He's run out in the crowd. Alberto Del Rio comes down to cash in. Punk knocks him the fuck out. He's going into the crowd. Blows Mr. McMahon a kiss goodbye. And CM Punk is your WWE champion. But he's not in the company anymore. About a month or two later, he would return to the company as your WWE champion, and it would be champion versus champion at SummerSlam. Punk would win, and then Alberto Del Rio would cash in. Punk gets halted, but this was an amazing storyline. It sucks where it ended up, but Jesus, they had something hot here. CM Punk wins the title. This show has so much ramifications. It's unbelievable. If you're looking for Money in the Bank to go back and watch, check this one out because it truly has everything you could want to see in a Money in the Bank show. 2 great ladder matches, 2 great World Championship matches, an awesome storyline, and again, ramifications that changed wrestling history and a WrestleMania main event. Whew. I could use a drink. How about a honeydew martini? 1/2 ounce vodka, 1/2 ounce of melon liqueur, 1/2 ounce of triple sec, a little splash of champagne in there for a little Money in the Bank, 1/4 ounce of lime juice, 3 ounces of honeydew melon puree, a little bit of mint. Blend your honeydew, and then pass it through a strainer to catch the juice. Add an ice, combine your melon juice, vodka, melon liqueur, triple sec, and fresh lime juice. You're going to shake well, strain into your glass, top with a little bit of champagne, and garnish with some melon balls. I wonder why did they ask for mint? Must be a mistake. But it is a great drink, fun, tasty. I really do enjoy this martini. It's a fun one to make. definitely a fun one to have at your Money in the Bank party this weekend. And now we're reading from the Book of Rules. Money in the Bank briefcase. The contract for the championship match is good for 365 days before it expires. The bell must ring for a cash-in to be valid. A reading from the Book of Rules. And now, everybody, it is time for the Battle Droid of the Week. The Battle Droid of the Week this week is the feuds going into Money in the Bank. All the feuds are predictable except for the World Heavyweight Championship match and the Intercontinental Championship match. You know who's going to cost who within the match. It really takes a little intrigue out. You're still wondering who's going to win the Money in the Bank, but at the same time, the feuds you know will take away. It's like the Extreme Rules 6-Pack Challenge. You had Seth Rollins feuding with Bray Wyatt at the time. You had Finn Balor feuding with, I believe it was a 5-pack challenge. Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, 6-pack. Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns. Finn Balor was technically against Roman Reigns at the time. Samoa Joe was just in there. And then you had Seth Rollins feuding with Bray Wyatt. Who was going to win? Well, Samoa Joe's obviously going to win. He's not feuding with anybody. Okay, then there we go. That's what's happening here. Who's not feuding with somebody? There's your winner. And that's why that is the Battle Droid of the Week. Congratulations.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. Next week, I will be back with my Money in the Bank review. Thank you very much for listening. Again, thank you for listening for 160 episodes. This is episode 160. So, thank you very much. Have a great week in wrestling.